Hey, what if I told you that chronic fatigue, no matter how much sleep you get, you're still tired? The chronic gut issues that just came out of nowhere and you're coping with them, but your stomach is always messed up. Those stubborn pounds, no matter how much you cut back or work out, they don't want to release you. Or now the migraine headaches and the inflammation in your body, like things are just breaking down. What if I told you those aren't just physical signs and symptoms, honey? Those are soul health issues. And what could be happening is you might have the bitters. Yes, you might have that horrible soul disease called bitterness. And if so, today you're about to learn why bitterness is so lethal to your health, but most importantly, why you must release it. Let's get into it. So, welcome back to my channel, Soul Health with Nurse Blue. So, if you're just stopping by for the first time, hello, love. I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you are looking for natural ways to either prevent or reverse a chronic disease. And please give me a thumbs up and let's get started here because today we are coming against the soul disease of bitterness. Now, let me just be honest with you. I used to be a bitter woman, so I know all too well about how this toxin will come for your life and everything around you and try to take you out. But today, we're coming against this toxin because there is nothing more dangerous on planet Earth than a bitter woman. Let the church say, amen. And the children say, amen. And the co-workers, amen. And the partners, amen. And the employees, amen. And it is my black job to help you release this toxin. So let's jump into it right now. Okay, let's talk about where bitterness comes from. And again, I'm telling you, I've been there. Now, bitterness comes from you've been hurt, baby. So, whether it was through some type of betrayal, some form of injustice, maybe a great loss. But the reality of it is, you're not dealing with it. So, that pain has power and it's growing inside of you. Okay. So, as that pain festers, it hasn't been integrated, it hasn't been released, but you have decided that you're okay. And you know why you're okay? Because when we don't deal with our pain, we protect ourselves with the spirit of pride. Now, when you allow pride to run the show, you can't hear the truth. You can't even see the truth. And what happens over time, that pain gains power. And now it becomes resentment. Now, when you have resentment, you're dangerous. And here's why. Because what pride does is it forces you to go into a protective mechanism called heart closure. Heart closure leads to disease because whatever's happening in the soul is going to communicate it to the body and it's going to communicate it to the chief operating officer of our body that many of you guys don't have a relationship with. It's called the endocannabinoid system, the ECS for short. So what the endocannabinoid system does, guys, it is, or she is, I call her Lady E, she is the queen of homeostasis. And when you take peace away from Lady E, meaning you have pride running the show, you don't want to deal with your pain, you have bitterness and resentment taking place in your body, that means you have elevated your soul to accept chronic stress. And when you're in a state of chronic stress, which is called fight or flight, you have now caused your cortisol to go up. Now, as cortisol goes up, your health is about to go down. And what cortisol does is cortisol starts calling fat belly Felicia because when cortisol starts amping up, you're going to feel more pain in your body. When cortisol starts amping up, it's going to be hard for you, no matter how much you are working out and eating your best. It's going to be hard for you to lose that weight because bitterness has been allowed to increase in power. Also, what happens when you have bitterness in your life? Your immune system is going to be impacted. So when I went through this scenario, I later on was diagnosed with a autoimmune deficiency. And for those of you who have an autoimmune deficiency, you know that this is how a flare up can take place when you're living with chronic stress and resentment. And also, when you are in denial of your pain, expect for your anxiety to increase. So, bitterness is coming for you, and you don't even realize it. That's why we got to get rid of it. Okay, so let me tell you a real life story of when I was a bitter woman. Okay, so it was nearly 25 years ago. I was going to work, make it into work that morning, get this strange call from this guy. Guys, he had his wife confess to me that she had been having an affair with my boyfriend. This was his ex girlfriend from college. Now, the sad thing is that this woman was married to a really nice guy, have had two children by him, and he made her confess. So naturally, I was absolutely devastated by this news because at this time I thought that this guy, this was the one. Okay, I mean, this guy bought me a house on my birthday. We had traveled together. We were making plans for the future. I mean, I really thought that this was going to be my knight in shining armor. Well, needless to say, the dream became a nightmare instantly. So when I confronted my then boyfriend with this information, he lied so much. It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I actually had so much evidence that this had taken place. It was shameful how crazy this story had become, but he lied about it. I'm not even sure that the name he was born with was actually his name. The relationship ended, and it was such a great loss for me because, like I said before, I really thought this one was the one. And at that time I had not discovered soul health, so I had lived with this pain. It had festered, it had become resentment. I was also working in a very challenging, toxic work environment, so that compounded my stress. And guys, shortly thereafter, I was later diagnosed with a autoimmune deficiency, psoriasis, and I really believe that it was because I was dealing with bitterness in my soul. Now, because I was dealing with bitterness, I was mean to people. Because I was dealing with bitterness, my stress level was off the charts. Because I was dealing with bitterness and had other women in my life who was dealing with bitterness as well. At the end of the day, I realized that I was not only a danger to myself, but the people around me. Right now, I look back on this and I'm actually really thankful that this took place because it did lead to my soul health and wellness journey, and also allowed me to now support people like you who might be struggling with unprocessed pain from life, right? But it wasn't until I learned how to deal with my resentment and release bitterness that I was able to reclaim my life. Now I have so much more energy because bitterness drains your energy. I have wonderful health, right? And I'm no longer living and existing and surviving low vibrational frequencies of fear and anxiety and, anger, which is made of resentment and that bitterness. And once I learned how to effectively release all of the painful past and allow bitterness to go, all I have to say is now I am living because joy is my normal, peace is where I reside, and having the power of just living in a state of love that I can offer and support you with, that's where life is at for me. But I had to let go of the pain of bitterness. So now I have an important question for you. Are you bitter about something, but your pride won't let you get rid of it? Could you be holding on to a hurt, guilt? You angry about the death of someone? Maybe somebody did you wrong. What bitterness might be buried so deep that you forgot about it, but your body didn't forget? And sweetheart, let me remind you, this is not about blame. This is about freedom. And bitterness is never going to set you free to experience joy and peace. Only you can do that. That's called radical self love. Now, if this is hitting home for you, I got something really special for you. It is a soul renewal detox. It's called the spiritual vaccine, and it consists of a nurse and wellness plan, and it comes with my Blue Soul playlist, which is musical medicine designed to help you get rid of this bully called bitterness. Because guess what? We got to kick this bully in the butt. And in 5 simple steps, I am going to show you how we can defeat bitterness and reclaim your health, your energy, and your joy. But first, this is what you have to do. You got to click the link below, schedule your I Deserve Joy consultation, and then you can meet us in the Soul Health and Wellness Club, because that is the place that I've created for you to learn all about soul health and wellness. Now, here's what I want you to know. You're not broken. You're just carrying something that's really toxic and it's really heavy, and I'm here to help you lay it down. So if you enjoyed this message, I invite you again to subscribe to my channel, Soul Health with Nurse Blue. Give me a thumbs up. And if you know someone that's really having a tough time in life right now, that's really struggling with pain, don't leave them hanging. We are not trying to create more bitterness in the world. Please share this video with them. You could be certainly changing their life and preventing them from having an illness from bitterness. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.